Hello, I'm Neal.
And I'm Paul, and this is another educational video from Elk Castle Shooting Sports.
Now, Paul, I was on YouTube the other day, and a buddy of mine had forwarded me a montage of 80s action flicks. Now, these actors could not agree on grip, so I wanted you to help me out.
All right.
Okay. Now some of these actors, they've got a pistol, and they hold it like this.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's correct, but some of these actors, they hold it like this.
All right.
And then some of them hold it like this. And then the only other one I saw, and this was confusing, I wanted to get your input.
Sure.
I've seen some of them, when they shoot, they go like that. And I think that gets a little extra velocity on the bullet going down range. Now, which one of those is the correct grip?
None of the above. To be honest with you, they're all quite interesting. But
So you're going to tell me that Hollywood got it all wrong. Okay. Well, why don't you show me a proper grip, Paul?
all right. First thing, depending on whether the shooter is left-handed or right-handed, first thing you always want to do is make sure the firearm is clear before you even start anything. So we're removing the magazines, we're checking the chamber, making sure the actions are locked open to the rear, keeping your finger indexed. The first start with me with any firearm is to make sure that when I grip the handgun, front sight, rear sight runs up the long axis of my arm. This facilitates actual natural point of aim. So if I want to point down range, I'm literally doing it right now. It's lined straight up. Now, to get my action forward, I can put the safety on. What I want to do here, and I'm going to turn so the camera can actually see this, is I'm going to raise my dominant thumb. I've got a nice little opening here, which I kind of refer to as my puzzle piece. And I'm going to go heel to heel. I'm going to wrap all four fingers around and relax my thumbs forward. This, if the camera can pick up on that just a little bit for me, you'll see that I have more hand on the gun to provide more control. This is actually a very good technical grip. This gives me firm stability in shooting and actual natural point of alignment. It's actually very nice to do. Go ahead and try that, and you actually feel how comfortable that is in your hand. Remember to keep your finger indexed. There you go. One other thing I want to make sure of that you didn't mention before is one grip that we see constantly in shooting is that person putting that left thumb or right thumb right behind the slide.
Well, now that slide comes back when you shoot, doesn't it?
Sure, it gives you what we call the railroad tracks. It'll let about 6 stitches in your hand.
Okay.
So you don't ever want to put your thumb back here. The cup and saucer, the problem with this one, this hand is no longer really a support. It actually becomes an anchor where the gun actually is being pulled down.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we don't use that one. Some people, Cagney and Lacey and all those, you'll see them grabbing this up here to provide stability for the wrist because they want to limp wrist it. Actually, again, this hand does become an anchor. It actually doesn't help you stabilize the firearm as this one does with equal pressure.
Okay.
There's another grip that we tend to use, and it's not incorrect, but it's not one of my favorites. It's bending this thumb down and allowing the thumb to come crossed over like this. There's nothing wrong with it. People do it a lot. It's just it's not a new technique. We've mastered it up into this to where I have more control of the firearm.
Okay. Now, I have another question for you.
Sure.
Mr. Certified Instructor, sir. This is a Glock. I love my Glock. But I have a question about handgun safety because my lovely sister was taking dry fire practice with her pistol, and she racked the magazine to clear it, dropped the magazine to take away its food source, and shot a hole in her AC unit. So how do we keep from doing that?
Well, we'll go with the basics of gun safety real quick here. It's actually very interesting. When you have a firearm in this position here, the interesting thing is no one can tell whether it's loaded or not.
Right.
So let's go ahead and verify that the firearm is clear. The first thing you always want to do with every semi-automatic is to remove the source of ammunition. So all I'm going to do is turn it this way so the camera can see this, is that right here is what we call a mag release. You push that in and it drops the magazine out. This is your source of ammunition. Once this is removed from the firearm, the only thing left to do is clear what is in the chamber. So by turning the pistol so the camera can actually see this, by racking the action back, what is ever in the chamber gets extracted out. Military, we tend to do that a couple times. Reason being is if I did that a couple times and I kept seeing cartridges come out, I forgot to remove the magazine.
Okay.
Hence I shoot my AC unit. The last time after it's been cleared, I engage the slide stop, which is the lever right here on this side, which riding it up, pulling the action back, and locking it into detent, I'm going to turn the firearm over and I'm going to look in the chamber to make sure that the firearm is clear. And this, if you have someone standing by, have them look inside also to verify the firearm is clear. This keeps the TVs intact also.
Okay.
Best way to do this, and this is the best thing to do, we tell everybody this, we have 2 competent instructors here at El Castle. Come in at your leisure, we'll be happy to work with you. The best thing to do is, and this is for everybody, gun safety is everyone's responsibility. Don't take it upon yourself. If you're not sure, ask.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, Neal. 3370 weather to hunt deer. Isn't that kind of large for a Texas deer?
Well, Paul, I was 17 once, like 2 weeks ago, and I was getting into deer hunting. I was like, I need a deer rifle. I mean, the ultimate deer rifle. If this thing's 4,000 yards away, I want to be able to knock him down, quartering away over a ridge at twilight, right? So I went out and bought me a 300 Weatherby, which is a big, powerful cartridge. This is a 300 Winchester Magnum. Now, the first deer I ever killed in my life, I shot with a 7 mag. And some people will tell you that that's overkill, but I promise you he was not too dead. He was just dead enough. 300 Magnum would work. It's brilliant.